Hi, I'm Yvonne of Pree Designs. Thanks for stopping by to have a look at my video. Today I'm going to show you how to do this nice, easy, quite quick, depending on the elements that you're going to add to it. So it's a little fancy flap fold card. Here I've used the Free as a Bird stamp set, and I've fussy cut around the birds and the leaves, and that's the little flap fold. Another one I've made using the Country Club golf set is this one here, and I've used some of the elements out of the Country Club suite. I'm going to start with a piece of A5 cardstock. I'm using Pool Party, and A5 is just half a sheet of A4 cut at 14.8 centimeters in a landscape orientation. So the first thing that you're going to do is simply score this at the halfway point. It's 21 centimeters across. So scoring at halfway is 10.5. And then you have a front and the back of the card. So I'm just folding it. I'll burnish that later. So we're now going to use the front of our card. So I want to use this side of my trimmer. So I've just turned it so that my front is here. This is the top of the card. This is the bottom of the card. So the first thing I'm going to do is this measurement is 10.5, so I need to find the halfway point, which is actually 5.25. So I'm going to pop it in there. I'm going to bring my scoring tool up to the top of my trimmer, and I'm going to score from the top down to 5 centimeters and stop, lifting my ruler and then taking my scoring tool down to 10 centimeters and score from there down to the bottom. Note that I haven't scored in here because we don't actually want this part of the card to fold. Then I'm going to take my cardstock, still in the same landscape orientation, across to 7.5 centimeters. I'm holding my ruler up so that I can slide my blade through, and I'm going to start a cut. Remembering that I've got my paper at 5.5, I'm starting my cut at 5 centimeters. So I've pushed the blade in there, and I'm going to stop my cut at 10 centimeters. Lift my ruler up, and I've just got a slice through there. Now I need to meet these two pieces, so I'm going to turn my cardstock around. Now I know my measurement here is 10.8 centimeters, so I'm going to put my cardstock in, and I'm going to stop it at 4.8. So you've just got two little marks back from the 5 centimeter mark. I'm placing my blade down onto that score line I can see there, which is at 5 centimeters, and I'm going to cut through to about 7.5 centimeters if I've measured it correctly. Oops, I just missed a little bit off there, but that's okay. I'm then going to slide my cardstock along. Now actually this one I slide along to 9.8 centimeters because I know that's my measurement from this side. But if you change your measurement, really is all you're actually doing is cutting from the score line. I've got my little blade pointer there down to the other cut line, which is 7.5. So you can see I've cut from there down to here. It doesn't matter that I've gone a little bit over the edge. Then turn my card around. Just get rid of my paper trimmer. I'm going to burnish that side fold, and then I'm simply going to fold on my score line and burnish those two folds down. Just run my bone scorer over those lines. Now it doesn't matter, as I said, that I went a little bit past here. That doesn't matter at all. That gets hidden. And that is my fun fold. Very, very easy, but nice and effective, especially if you want to put little pieces through here. It will look beautiful with lots and lots of different things. So now it's time to decorate. So I'm going to use my Free as a Bird stamp set, and I'm going to use one of the greetings in there, "Your friendship means the world to me." I could bring out my Stamparatus, but I just want to quickly stamp this. So I'm going to use the ruler to help me get that nice and straight. And then I'm going to use a piece of the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper just to add a little bit of interest to the side. I like to use glue because you've got a little bit of time to manipulate your piece into place. That's all I need there. I might pop a little hand cut flower on there at the end. Then that's just going to go straight on the inside back cover. Now the Whisper White measures 14.3 by 10 centimeters, so that I have a nice border around the edge. Then I've got a piece of Petal Pink cardstock, which I'm simply going to put to the side, and that measures 14.3 by about 7.5, so that it's a ½ centimetre matte difference to my actual piece here. So that's there. So I want to use a piece of the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper, but I've actually run out of this particular design, so I'm going to cheat. I'm actually going to add 2 pieces together because I'm going to have my birds going through here and a little verse on here, so I'll cover up that join. So I'm just going to put them together. So I'm going to put the bottom piece on first. Again, I like to use glue. I just wanted this really soft branch piece behind what I'm planning on using for my decoration. That's that piece, and then this piece will go directly over the top, and the finished card, you will never know that there's a join in there. Okay, so that's the front so far. So then it's time to stamp and colour in my birds. So here's my birds that I've already stamped, and then I'm going to use blends to colour them in. And then I'm actually going to fussy cut them because I want my birds to be sitting across this piece here. Now this piece, you can determine the size of this depending on what element that you're going to attach to it. So I've already coloured part of the birds in, and I've just used the blends. I've stamped in Memento Black, but just to show you how I colour in using the blends, I put down the lightest colour first, and I put just a nice easy wash, what I would call a wash of colour, and then I go back in, and I put the darker elements in, and I usually go by the way that the artist has designed the stamp. I've just gone over the edge a little bit there because my Daffodil Delight need a replacement for that one. It's just the ends worn out a little bit. These are an item that does need to be replaced every now and then. So that's my bird. And then where I've gone over the edges or the lines a little bit, I'm just going to push that colour back onto the bird's belly. But I'm going to hand cut this, so I'm going to take some of that colour out anyway. Then this is the colour lifter, so I just want to shade or make his belly just a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to go in there and take some of that colour away. And then that's the birds. So now I need to fussy cut them. Now the colours I used also for the blends were Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Pool Party, Bermuda Bay, Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, and then also the colour lifter. That was the colours I chose simply because they are all the colours that are in the Designer Series paper and in the base of my card. I haven't popped any Petal Pink in there, which is this colour here, because I wanted to leave that out because I've got the Petal Pink on the base here. So now I'll just cut around the birds. So I finished fussy cutting my little birds. I haven't cut all of the white out. You could if you wanted to, but for me that's just a little bit too much. I've also stamped out of the stamp set a couple of sets of the leaves and fussy cut around those, and I've just coloured those in very quickly with the Old Olive. And then I'm going to stamp on a piece of Whisper White, if I can get that leaf out of the way. Just a little sentiment for across the front using Calypso Coral. Doesn't matter that I haven't stamped it straight because I'm then going to punch it out using the pretty label punch. keep that bit for another day. So now I'm just going to start to layer the front of my card. So bringing the card back in, just move all my blends out of the way. And I'm going to put my birds on first. Oops. So I'm just going to pop my birds through there. Now under here and here, I'm going to put these extra leaves on. The best way to pop the birds on, because I want to give them a little bit of lift, is to use some dimensionals. So I'm going to need to check where I need to put my dimensionals so they're not sticking over the edge. So I'm going to put one on here, one in there, one a little bit closer to the base of the bird there. I'm renowned for not using loads of dimensionals because you don't need them. We've only got a little light piece of card here. Take the backing off and then place my birds. I'll hover them over the right sort of spot and then just pop them into place. And then these little sets of leaves, I'm just going to add in here just to fill out that little area a little bit more. And I'm going to use glue for those. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the stem and tuck that in underneath, just to add some more leaf detail. And this one I'm going to pop up the top. But of course you can put in as much or as little, whatever stamp set you've got. This would be great as a Christmas stamp, be beautiful. I've done one before as with butterflies. And I just overstep my mark with that glue. So I just want to colour that up so it doesn't stick to the wrong spot. Okay, leave that. And then my little verse, which is covering up the fact that I didn't quite have enough designer series paper. I'm going to sponge around the edge there to bring, I think I'll do it in the yellow, to bring a little bit of colour in. So I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight and a little piece of sponge. Quite bright. And then just adhere that on there. I'm going to flat glue that, so I want to be careful where I put my glue. I'm going to put it onto the card base, not onto the label, because that means I'm going to completely cover up. Sorry, I'm going to get the glue exactly where it needs to go. And then to finish that off, I've also stamped out a couple of the extra flowers in this stamp set, and I need to fussy cut those. So I've just cut those little flowers out, 3 little flowers here, and I'm just going to add those to my tag, and I'll do that using little dimensionals. I love these mini dimensionals, they're great. That way, I'm going to put this one on with glue because I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the stem because I want that popping through. I'm going to move this one, it's not quite in the right spot for me. And then the little blue one, I'm going to put the dimensional straight onto the card front so it's in roughly the right spot without hanging out, without the dimensional going over the edge of the little side flap. And that is my card. Just a little fun flap fold. The final thing I need to do is just finish off with a little envelope. Ink up once, stamp 3 times, which gives you a nice variance in colour. So that is my flap fold card using the Free as a Bird stamp set and Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. All of these items are currently available from our Stampin' Up 2020 annual catalogue. Thanks.